In this video, I want to go over how submittals work within ProjectTeam. As you can see, I'm starting off in the Submittal Log. In the Submittal Log, I have a bunch of columns that come by default that is going to show what's going on with each individual submittal. I have the item number, which is the specification number, the submittal within that specification, and then the revision of that actual submittal. I have a subject, responsible party, a due date, a status, an original submitted date, days overdue, which is currently showing -9. -9 means that it's not overdue. Once it would become overdue, it would go to a positive number. So if it was 2 days overdue, it might say +2, +3, +4, etc. Last action, this is the last action that happened on each one of these submittals. So I can see if I go to the bottom here, I have a couple submittals that have been submitted and they have actions on them. One, note markings, the other, no exception is taken. There's a bunch of actions that you can take on each submittal, and that would be at the individual submittal level. The next column is ball in court. So you can see for these two submittals, it shows that Patrick Nolan is the next person up that needs to take action on each one of these submittals. Then the days ball in court, it looks like it's been sitting at Patrick for about 7 days, and then it's been open for 7 days as well. And then the stuff on the right over here just shows who created and when the submittal was created. And then finally, just like any other log in the system, it shows you who the form has been shared to. Let's go ahead and create one brand new submittal so I can just show you how the creation process works. At the top of the log, I can see I have an add new button, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. It's going to bring up a new submittal form. Here I'm just going to copy and paste in a subject for my submittal. And then I'm going to actually add this to the 03 spec section. So I'm going to type in 0330. The cast in place concrete. I'll check that, choose that specification section. And then you can see that my submittal number and the revision number within that spec are auto-populated. So this means that this is the 8th submittal within spec section 0330. Next, I have a revision date, so I'll go ahead and put today's date in there. I can say what type of submittal this is going to be. I'll click the drop down, and this is actually, since it's a research and evaluation report, I'm going to indicate that this is a report type of submittal. The responsible party is just going to be Long Miller Concrete. Submitted for, I'll say this one is submitted for approval. The target approval date. The target approval date is actually the date that you want this submittal to be approved. So you can go in here and say any date, and you can click through the calendar if you want to, click through the years. But for now, I'm going to say that it is October 2016, and I'll say, actually, let's go November. So I'm going to click on the 5th of November. I'm also going to say that it takes about 15 days on average for a submittal to get approved. That gives me a due date of 10/21/2016. So that means I want this submittal submitted to me by 10/21. It usually takes about 15 days for it to get approved, and then I should be able to hit my approval date of 11/5. The rest of these fields down here are all going to come from the submittal workflow. So the status, original due date, revision submitted date, ball in court, and days ball in court, that's going to be shown and give me an indication of where it stands in the workflow once I set that off. And then finally, there's a close date. I can go in here and click a close date, and that's just a calendar again. Once I put in a close date, that will mark this submittal as closed, and then it will not be able to be added to any submittal packages anymore. So for now, I'm just going to leave that open and scroll up. Let me go ahead and save this submittal now. Once I do, I get to the submittal view. I can scroll down. I can see that I have a bunch of new panels showing up here. The action history. I can go in and take action on this submittal if I wanted to, but for now, I'll leave that blank. The action items, I can go in here and add action items. So that means I can go ahead and assign this to somebody else, so some other user on my project. Package links, this is all of the submittal packages that this individual submittal is a part of. Reference links, this is any other document. So if I click on I want to add a new reference link, it's going to give me all the other documents that have been set up on this project. So if I just type in request for information, I can see a bunch of RFIs that maybe I have access to that I might want to associate this submittal to. And I can click multiple at a time. So let's do that. Let's just say, do I have any concrete? Let's say the curtain wall attachment, that's fine. Add that link. Once I do that, I can see the curtain wall attachment RFI is now linked to my submittal. Under reference links, I have the revision history. This is showing me, right now I'm on revision 0 of this submittal, but if I were to create other revisions, all of the previous revisions would start to show up under this revision history. So you can always go back and look at what the evolution of each submittal. And then finally, I have an attachments area where I could drag and drop from my desktop or some folder within my computer, or click the upload button to upload things or files from my file management area. I'll scroll to the top here and close this submittal, get back to my log. So here I can see that this research evaluation reports is showing up in my log now. I can search on that. I could sort my log if I wanted to, but right now I want to show you how to pull this submittal and any other submittals that are related to it into a package, and then go ahead and submit that package. Then we'll get back to the submittal log and see what happened to all of these statuses. At the top of the screen on the secondary navigation, I can see that I have the submittals drop-down highlighted. I'll click on that and go into my submittal packages. Here I can see a list of all the packages that I have, or all my submittal packages for this project. I'm going to go ahead and add a new one, and I'm just going to call this, for example, the concrete sub package. Here I'm going to choose a spec section similar to what we did before. So I'll click choose, I'll type in 0330. Here's my concrete spec. I'll choose that. That's added. Here I have a spec or a submittal number based on that spec, and this is going to be related no matter if I have deleted or obsoleted submittals packages before, so that's why it's number 9 right now. And then I'll go in and add submittal items. Here I'm going to search for everything that is 0330. So here I have a bunch of different submittals. I'm going to go through and maybe click I'll go ahead and click them all if I need to. Click all of those. Actually, I'm going to unclick this material test reports, because you can see that right now I have 2 of those because I have a second revision for one of those. So I have a revision 0 and then a revision 1, and I'm just interested in the most current revision, which is going to be that revision 1. Once I do that, I'll click the Add Revisions button. All of those submittals get added to my package, and then I'll go ahead and save the package. Now that I've saved the package, you can see that I can take action on each one of these submittals right from the package view. So I don't have to go into each individual submittal, which a lot of times can be tedious because you have a lot of clicks there. I can just go in and click take action from each one of these different submittals right from the package. So if you're submitting this to another person on your project, or another group of people on your project, although it will auto share all of the submittals within the package, they don't actually have to go into each individual submittal. They can just take action right from the package. I'll scroll down and I can see I have a workflow section. Here it says that I can submit the package, so I'm going to go ahead and click the button. I'm going to say it's submitted by me on this date, the 12th, and then I'm going to set a next ball in court. Here's where I can say or give it to anybody else on the project, so now they're going to show up on the log. So when I'm looking at the submittal log as a whole, I can see each one of the submittals and where they sit. So if I type in PAT here, I can find Patrick Nolan, who's the person that I want to submit this set of submittals to. I'll click his name. It fills in for the next ball in court there. Then I'll go ahead and submit the package. Now that I've done that, my step is recorded in the log. So it says that Josh Whitmer submitted this on 10/12 with no notes. And now I can see that Patrick Nolan now it's sitting in his court. It got assigned to him on the 12th, and he'll be able to go in here and complete this step. And also I will too, because I'm the admin for my project, for my company. Let's scroll back up, let's go back to the submittal log now. If I go to submittals and I look at my log, I can see everything now showing up in my log in this log view. So I can see that everything that I just put into that package has been submitted. Each one of those is sitting at Patrick Nolan's ball in court, and each one of those has been in there for 0 days because I just did that. As he goes in and takes action on these submittals, it'll start to populate the last action area, and as days go by, the days ball in court will start to count until until Patrick goes in, changes the ball in court to somebody else on the project, and that will reset at every step. Real quick, just so I can fill in some of the last action rows, I'm going to go back to my submittal package, click into that concrete sub package, scroll down here, and I'm just going to take some action. Even though I am not Patrick, I can still take action on each one of these submittals. So I'll just say this one is approved. Maybe this one here is approved as noted, and I could say don't forget to provide details. Something like that. I'll go ahead and approve this one. Maybe I want to reject this one. And I can go through and kind of quickly go and approve or reject, or maybe this one has no exceptions taken on it. There's a bunch of different options that I can take on each one of these submittals. And then once I do that, that information is not only recorded at the package level, but the reason I'm doing this is I want to show you at the submittal log now, each one of those actions is shown at the submittal log view. And now I can go ahead and report. So I can just say I want to look at all the approved submittals. I have typed that into the search bar there. I'll go ahead and print this log. It'll populate and show me this nice report that I can go ahead and print to PDF or print it out and put it into a project binder with the person that is submitting or running the report, the organization they come from, and the project. And here's a nice report of all the submittals that have been approved on my project. I'll cancel out of this for now, go back. One of the things that I want to note is, even though I have the item number, subject, responsible party, all these columns by default set up on my submittal log, just like any other form, I can always click this More button or the drop down and say that I want to configure my log. Once I do that, I have a whole ton of other fields that I could add to my submittal log if I wanted to. So I can go in here, maybe I want to say this is the type, and then save that. And now type is going to start to show up in my submittal log. I'll clear my filter there. So I can see that some of these are reports, literature, mockups, whatever I want to do. And then I could always report, search, or sort my submittals based on those different fields. That's also true if I would go in here and say, just like anything else, if I want to customize this and add a brand new field to my submittal, I could go ahead and add that and then configure my log to show that custom field and then report off of that custom field as well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show today about submittals. If you have any questions about submittals or really anything else within ProjectTeam, feel free to give us a call at 703-961-1007. Thanks.